Last week, a United Nations committee recommended that South Korea and Japan revise a deal they struck in 2015 under which Tokyo would provide funds to help support the Korean victims of Japan's wartime sexual slavery. Revision to make sure the victims get not only compensation but reconciliation and truth. Well, Japan is now said to be preparing to file an objection, saying the deal is fine as it is. Unshin reports.
In the coming days, Japan is expected to lodge a formal objection to the UN Committee Against Torture's call last week for Seoul and Tokyo to revise their agreement. Japanese news outlet Yomiuri Shimbun reported Thursday the government officials are preparing a written statement against the committee's recommendation, saying there's no need to renegotiate the deal. The deal was reached in 2015 and included a financial contribution by Japan of some $8.8 million to a South Korean fund for the victims of Tokyo's past wartime sexual enslavement of Korean women. In its objection, Japan will reportedly claim that there's no solid evidence the victims were taken by force. In addition, Tokyo insists that the agreement was, at the time of its signing, acknowledged positively by then U.S. Chief Ban Ki-moon. However, many in Korea, including the victims, their family members, and the newly elected President Moon Jae-in, have refused to recognize the deal as proper compensation. President Moon also hinted last week at scrapping the controversial deal in his first phone call with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. The UN committee's report last Friday said the agreement should be modified to, quote, ensure that the surviving victims of sexual slavery during World War II are provided with redress, including the right to compensation and rehabilitation and the right to truth. That recommendation is expected to back up a demand by Korea for a renegotiation, though the UN's decision is not legally binding, and Japan has no obligation to comply. Unshin, Arirang News.